Major League Baseball is officially back. Opening day going on all around the big show today. And we're just a couple of guys hanging out, watching some baseball. It's my buddy Marc Wilkins, former Major League pitcher, 6 years in the bigs. Tell me about days like today. I can only speak as a fan, Mark, but it's pretty cool. It's like a quasi-holiday. It's been winter time. There's been no baseball. All of a sudden, everybody's playing all on the same day. It feel like that for a player, like you're opening a gift. It's like, hey, it's back.
That's what these beers are here for, right? Cheers.
Hey.
Opening day.
It's a celebration. When you jump up to opening day and you're at a Major League ballpark after you've spent the last couple of months at, the facilities are nice for spring training, but then there's 35,000 screaming fans. How much different is it? That first day is a little bit of a shock for you.
Yeah, it's actually an adrenaline rush. Spring training was more like a vacation. You were just there to get in shape. Now, the old days of baseball where guys came to spring training to get in shape, they all had jobs in the off-season, if you're looking back far enough into the 50s and 60s. And then kind of things changed a little bit. When they're throwing that much money at these athletes, they don't expect you to come to camp, with a pot belly. You better come to camp in tip-top shape, ready to compete in spring training and kind of set a precedent. And you'll see some of the better teams come out of spring training with a better winning record than others. If you're sitting there on the last day of spring training and you think back and you didn't really have a great spring training, you try to convince yourself that didn't mean squat.
Right.
If you're sitting there on the last day and you had a really good spring training, you want to take that momentum and keep it going. So it's always a mental game of just balancing out your confidence. And if you don't have any, trying to convince yourself that you're better than you just showed. And that's what really playing sports at that level is all about. You've got to almost trick yourself into believing you're really, really good.
How is the dynamic in the clubhouse between the day-to-day players that are out there and the pitching staffs, where obviously starters, they're working like every fifth day. Is there any kind of, line drawn at all? Tell me about how your relationships work.
Oh, there was a lot of ragging going on, actually. Yeah, you had starting pitchers that would go on the road with their golf clubs, and then you had position players that would just poke fun at them and say, boy, I wish I could play every 5 days.
Yeah.
But it was always in good humor, and those guys, obviously, those day in, day out players, those guys that are on the field every single day. You got to admire a guy like Cal Ripken, who went out and played, 2,000, over 3,000 games, I believe, consecutively without a day off. And that is really impressive because it just really takes a toll on your body. It's a long season. I would be an advocate of even shortening the season for that reason.
Yeah, we were talking the other day, you think maybe a 150-game season and then all 7-game series once you get into the postseason play.
I would love to see that. A lot of historians or traditionalists would say, no, now you're screwing with all the baseball records and whatnot. But I would argue that it's a different game now. As I alluded to earlier, players would come to spring training in the 50s and 60s and prior to that to get into shape. There wasn't as much money in the game, and there wasn't as much, you look at these guys now today, they're physical specimens. Just to give you an idea of how it was when I broke into the big leagues my rookie year, we had a keg of Budweiser on tap at all times in the clubhouse, and we had guys on a regular basis. It would not be uncommon to see guys smoking a cigarette in the clubhouse. Now these guys are drinking protein drinks.
A little bit different.
And they're shredded, they're ripped, they're in tip-top shape. They are truly physical specimens. So I would argue that the old traditional style baseball is gone. Those guys, I don't think any of those guys could compete with today's athletes. I really don't. I'd love to face Babe Ruth, to be honest with you, in my prime. I would have ate him alive.
Who had more fun in their big league days? You were the Babe.
Babe.
Clearly the Babe.
Probably
anybody have more fun than him?
I don't think anybody
Maybe
did.
not, huh?
Him and Mickey Mantle are pretty notorious for their off-the-field activities. But yeah, I had my good fair share of fun. Prior to getting married, it was quite the party.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk off camera after we get these beers down about some of those. All right, let's kick back, let's relax, let's watch some of these major leaguers do it today on opening day, a true holiday.